This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Bikeworks HMB, your one-stop shop for bike service, sales, and rentals in Half Moon Bay, California. Whether you're on the mountain, road, or low on battery, Bikeworks HMB has your back. So come on down to 520 Kelly Street and come talk some shop with the boys. All right, I'm GT. Peace out. Enjoy this episode of the podcast. Welcome back to the Between Shifts podcast. Our guest today is a deeply creative, grounded, and endlessly hardworking woman whose life has been shaped by passion, movement, and love, from flowers and dance to family and self-growth. She spent years building a life and career rooted in beauty, resilience, and connection, all while raising two amazing kids and chasing her own dreams. Her warmth, curiosity, and drive to keep learning and growing make her someone you instantly want to know more about. Please welcome Michelle Lowings.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, tear up.
I know, I had cried.
Wow.
When did you learn to write poems? That's crazy.
Gosh.
Laying in bed.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank you for having me, you guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're our second female guest. So
All right.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
we'll just start pretty basic. But
Yeah.
We're going to get into your childhood. So what
Mhm.
kind of kid were you growing up? Were you the high energy kid, or were you kind of a lower, easygoing, flower loving?
No, I have to say I was a little high strung, like a lot of anxiety. I grew up, my parents divorced when I was young, and it just really was tough on me. Created a lot of like, I didn't really feel comfortable around like being around adults sometimes, and just like judged by people. We were in this, my parents had us in this Christian school, and I just remember them like pulling us up on stage, my brother and I, and like, oh, feel sorry for them. Their parents just split up. It just felt very, very
Oh, that's
judged and weird. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I can't really say I was loving flowers or free spirited, or I mean, I really feel like I was kind of a sensitive kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Just more really picked up on other people's feelings.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Southern California, Huntington Beach,
Ooh, beautiful.
and lived in Orange County for the first 5 years of my life, and then my parents decided to move to this really armpit area of Arizona called Bullhead City.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if any of y'all know where
Nope.
that place is.
It's a band name.
No clue.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place. Lived there for a few years, and then I ended up in Northern California, Santa Rosa and Healdsburg.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes.
And what age was that at?
I moved to Santa Rosa with my mom when I was about 8 years old. And then we lived there for a few years. And then I went to high school in Healdsburg.
Awesome.
So,
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah. Then moved to San Luis Obispo to go to college.
there you go.
Nice.
And then ended up here.
Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
the longest place I've ever lived my entire life. Half Moon Bay.
That's
I've
amazing.
been here for, I think, almost 25 years.
We assume you like it.
I love it. It's the best place ever. Really.
Wouldn't go back to Bullhead City.
No.
Have you been back to Bullhead City?
I have been back to Bullhead City.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt a little bit. I went there for my 21st birthday because there is this row of casinos it's on the Colorado River, and on the other side it's like the border of Nevada and Arizona, and it's just like all these really like low budge casinos. And my dad took me there with one of my bestest friends, and we celebrated my 21st birthday there. So like we were just touring around the town, and it felt kind of solemn, it was just kind of like, I'm glad I don't live here anymore, because honestly it's the same place.
Yeah.
No growth,
How long,
nothing.
Yeah. How long did you live there?
About 2 years.
Okay, that was enough.
Long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So that would have been right before high school?
No, it was before. It was like early elementary school.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then I moved with my mom to Santa Rosa when I was about third grade.
Awesome.
And then third grade to fifth grade in Santa Rosa, and then the rest of the time in Healdsburg, junior high, high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Which was a
building
great
times.
place to grow up.
Yeah.
Are
I don't know
you,
if you've been to Healdsburg,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Are you excited to be going back up there?
Yeah. I love Petaluma. I love that whole area. It's great. And two of my best friends still live there. My mom doesn't live there any longer, but I get to go up there every, couple months to visit my friends. So
Nice.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Sweet.
well, as an energetic child, you balanced dance, cheerleading, swimming.
Yeah.
What did that kind of teach you about your discipline and all the things that you carry with you now?
Yeah, I was thinking about that question. I feel like at least with dance, you have to remember choreography.
I would assume
You
cheerleading
know,
too, right?
cheerleading, you gotta remember that stuff, and I just like to stay active. It keeps my brain sane, so I really like that. But sometimes dance gets a little bit crazy because you have to remember this stuff, and sometimes your brain shuts off and you forget stuff
Yeah.
in the middle of a routine, and you're like, oh no.
Well, it seems like dancers are always dancers, right? Like there's not a lot
Yeah.
of dancers to do other sports.
Yeah, no, I always loved music and the rhythm and all that stuff, and um what I think music does or dancing does for me now, I think is a really nice way to let loose of what's so serious and
Yeah.
just move my body, and it feels really good.
That probably really helped when you were little because you said you had a lot of anxiety.
It did.
Probably.
It really did. It did. So.
Do you get to dance at all like nowadays?
I do. I haven't danced for a little bit. There's this wonderful dance class that they started offering at Swell Yoga Studio, and it's like not interpretive dance, but it's like she just turns on the music and you just like move to what music makes you feel. It is incredible. I love it. I haven't been for a while because I did have some surgery on my foot.
Oh.
So that has kind of also kept me from dancing for a little bit. But and then I used to dance with one of my really good friends who is this amazing choreographer dancer. She teaches at Shelley Pack, and then I've been in some performances with her, and it's a modern like jazz type dance. So it's like you really have to remember, like you're always thinking the next step in your brain as you're moving. So sometimes if I've had a really long day and I'm tired and I'm like forget what the next move is, it's like a spiral down. I'm like, oh, I just get all screwed up, but I got
Turns more into
can I just like
interpretive.
go this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's like you're like a solo and you don't mean to be. Yeah.
Well, where did you end up finding your love for flowers?
I found my love for flowers when I went to Cal Poly. I went to Cal Poly as an ag business major, and I realized I took a horticulture class as my elective, a science elective. And I got in that class and I was just like, this is what I want to do. I don't want to be in business. I mean, I need the business classes, but
Yeah.
I didn't really have that mindset to be taking economics classes and, doing this weird math, and just I wanted to just like get in the dirt and plant stuff and, design it. And I started working for a wedding florist in college on the weekends, and that's when I really started loving doing it. Ironically, I don't know if any of you have heard of Lacey Peterson. Do you remember her? She was a girl that they found. I went to college with her. She got me a job at this wedding florist in San Luis Obispo, and we worked together, and we were on the floral judging team for Cal Poly, and we'd go to all the different colleges and compete in like floral judging.
That's fun.
That was really cool.
That's cool.
But she was in the news recently. You can look her up, but her husband killed her.
Okay, yeah, I did hear about
And
that.
she
Peterson?
Lacey Peterson.
Yeah.
She was one of my friends in college, so
Oh.
it was kind of heavy. Not to bring this
Yeah.
part down, we could take it right back up.
Yeah.
Where did she live? When did all? Where did?
Well, she's from Modesto, or in that the Bay or the
Central Valley.
Central Valley. Thank you. And but she I think that's where they had moved after college. So her husband, she met him while we were in college. And I think I'm circling the wagon to tell you that the florist that I worked for did the flowers for their wedding. We would do weddings all the time, and we did the flowers for their wedding. So it was
that was the first florist that you had worked for while you were still at college.
I learned a lot from her. Her name was Diana Fry. She was amazing, and she taught me a lot. And I started doing, after college, I started doing weddings. I did my friend's wedding, and then it was one of her bridesmaids, and then one of her friends. And then I just started doing them on the side. I had a full-time job. Out of college, I went to work for Nurseryman's Exchange here in Half Moon Bay, which is now Rocket Farms. And I was just doing weddings on the weekends. Like, I would do 10 a year without even advertising or anything. And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of, why am I doing this? Because I'm working full time. Oh, because I just love flowers. Okay. And I could do this. So I was in, like, whatever garage I lived in at the time, I'd be like, just worked on my garage.
I remember that being at your house riding the pump track that you guys had in the back.
Yeah. Did I have flowers in the garage?
Always flowers in the garage. And I was like,
yeah.
what does she do?
Yes. I've been doing it for 35 years.
Well, and you were pretty hands-on then.
Yeah.
That was like, you didn't like the business part. You were more hands-on, and that was.
I did. I mean, it's really all-encompassing because it's not just making the arrangements and picking out the flowers. You have to think. You have to meet with the brides, the people. You have to get their vision. You have to then price each flower out. Like, if you don't, then you won't make any money. And there's been a lot of times where I'm just like, still, like, even this morning when I'm at the flower market, I'm gonna buy all those dahlias. I don't know. I don't care. I'm buying them all. And it's like, sometimes you just have to, like, I do give myself a little bit of a budget to buy extra, but
Otherwise, you pick a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies.
Yes. That's true.
And so you mentioned how you just took a horticulture class.
Yeah.
When you were in ag business, and then you were hooked. Did you just like swap to horticulture like right after?
I did.
Okay.
Right after my first quarter at Cal Poly.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm doing this, and I just went full for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And my emphasis in college was production. So it was to be in the greenhouses and growing potted plants. So that's why I went to Nurseryman's after college and realized quickly that really wasn't my calling. Like, I know how to grow the plants from start to finish, but it's really hard work. Those guys work like 7 days a week. Like, we would work so much.
Yeah. Plants don't take a break.
No, they're like children. They're like, they're growing. They need water. They need to,
The right environment.
They do. Yeah. They need all these things.
Yeah.
And do you ever like source local flowers?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
And especially now more than ever. I mean, I always have, because we have some wonderful growers on the coast. One of my favorites is Louis Fagoni.
Yep.
He's amazing. He's the most beautiful ranunculus and dahlias you'll ever see.
Yeah, because aren't they like known for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And another one is her name's Bonnie, and she's just got wonderful dahlias and ranunculus too, and she just grows all kinds of field flowers too, and I try it to as much as possible.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Healdsburg, you're so close to wine country. Did you ever like think about never do it, like, because that's more viticulture, I guess?
Yeah. And you know what, there really wasn't viticulture at Cal Poly when I was there. That major kind of emphasis kind of came later on, but no, I really had no interest in that when I was younger. I just kind of felt like there were just snobby wine people in the square.
Especially growing up so close to it, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, there were really some snobby people.
Yeah.
So I just...
Well, when you were at Cal Poly, you met your husband.
I did.
Who is a coastal local.
Yes.
What was it that kind of brought you guys up here and made you settle?
I feel like he always intended coming back here because he grew up here. So, and I knew that I was going to get a job at Nurseryman's Exchange out of college. So it was perfect.
Yeah, that works out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you already had the job up here before you even left school?
Yeah.
Huh?
I had a job before I left school. Yeah.
Okay. So you must have met him pretty early on in college.
I met him 2 years into college, and he left. He was a year ahead of me. So like 1 year we weren't together, and like it was like a long distance, but we survived.
Made it.
We
Nice.
made it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you guys actually meet?
So that's really fun story. So he was a recreation major, and there was a class that we would take together. It was it was a recreation majors and horticulture majors took together. It was a parks and recs class, and we would just tour all the local parks. And there's different types of parks. You know, there's like regional parks, there's city parks, there's county parks, there's national parks. You know, so every week when you are familiar with Cal Poly, you know, you do these lab portions of your lecture where you have to like go, you know, kind of
Go somewhere.
Yeah, you do the things that you're learning in the lecture, which is, you know, you apply it. So it's really cool. And we would go to field trips to all these parks every week in the main. And I kind of like noticed him in the class, and I was just like, he's cute, you know. And, but we were going to go on this field trip at the end of the quarter, and it was to Yosemite. And I showed up, and to go, I was prepared to drive myself, even though my car was just not really the greatest shape. And he rolls up in his parents' Saturn, and he's like,
Ooh.
I got room for 4. And so I was like, I'll go. And we just hung out that entire trip. And then, you know, we started just dating slowly after that.
Nice.
So, and then when we got engaged, we had climbed up to the top of Yosemite Falls, and he asked me to marry him up there. So yeah, it was really sweet.
And the place where it all started.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a very special place for us and our family, because we bring our kids there, you know, as often as possible.
Oh,
That's really cool.
I've never
Yes.
been to Yosemite.
No?
Oh.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh.
Well, the first time I went, it was like mind blowing. So obviously it was on that trip. You know, my parents, we didn't really like do a lot of traveling or anything when I was a kid. So, you know, going there for the first time, I was just like, what is this place? This is the most magical place I've ever seen in my entire life. And then I like meet this guy, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
More magic. Yeah.
I'm in heaven.
In Yosemite too.
In Yosemite.
Yeah. Well, you've worn a lot of hats when it comes to jobs before.
Yes.
Before you committed to going full time on your own.
Yeah.
So I just was curious, what was the biggest lesson you've learned in those jobs before you started your own thing?
I think working with people is probably what, and I know that, you know, you're never really fully trained to work. I mean, in all the facets, they're just all different, right? Like you work in being a grower. I was kind of by myself, you know, but I did work with a lot of people that spoke Spanish. So, you know, I had to learn to speak Spanish, and it was really great for me to do that. But it's, you know, that's like, it's different working with different cultures. You know, you're just like, you learning how they live their lives, and just it can be difficult sometimes, you know, especially their impression about women being in control is kind of, you know, I would be in charge of men that were older than me, that were like, they weren't going to listen to a woman. So being super intimidated to begin with, you know, trying to speak their language, and, you know, so that was kind of very lesson learning for me. And then going from that job to retail, and just having to please people and give them whatever they wanted, that was like really, you know, sometimes like I was just like, oh man, I want to tell this lady to do something else. And then going into sales, I went to work at Bay City in sales, and that was also like, oh gosh, you know, you have to it's your fault no matter what. If a truck breaks down full of plants in Ohio, it doesn't matter. You have to take the brunt of it. And then I think just that is really the job that I learned the most at, I would say, would be in sales, because I learned to sell this product that I actually did really believe in. And so it did come easy, but then you have to sell yourself to, so it's like selling myself to these couples and people that want to use me as their florist is, you have to kind of finesse stuff sometimes, or just be confident that you can do this job for them.
Yeah. And that's definitely something that you're still using today.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Side note, rumor around town is that you are the mastermind behind the kale salad at New Leaf.
I'm not. I am not the mastermind. I definitely stole that recipe from New Leaf.
I was talking to Claire about the questions, and she's like, "You got to ask her about being the mastermind behind the kale
I just
salad."
know it. I just know it very well. The first time I had it, I'm like, I need to know what's in this. I asked the deli, and they gave me the information.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can't take cred. I
Oh,
can't
that's so
take
funny.
cred.
Claire made it sound like you had the recipe and you gave it to New Leaf.
Oh gosh, I wish I could say that,
Is
but
that
no.
your go-to? Is that your go-to, like bringing it to a party?
I do. I love that salad. It's really simple and very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so funny.
I wish Claire would hype me up like that, dude.
Oh my gosh, Claire, she's so sweet.
She's spreading rumors. Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a good rumor to spread, actually.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, totally.
Oh, yeah.
She makes a hell of a kale salad.
I do make good salad.
Which, to be fair, yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Where
I
do
do.
you find the time?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, pulling stuff out from the fridge.
There you go.
I thought that'll look good. That'll be good. It's just like some random shit.
See, okay, I struggle with that so bad. Like, especially in college when I would go to cook a meal for dinner. Claire could be at home and there could be like eggs and kiwis. And she'll be like making a hell of a meal.
Yeah.
I don't know how. And I'll be there and I'll have like steak and a salad. And I'll be like, what am I going to cook?
Trust me, it's only with salads that I'm that creative. Like otherwise I'm like, John, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does John cook a lot?
John cooks a lot. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
My mom will just be like, oh, there's 12 things in the fridge. Let's whip up a stir fry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, those are always
Oh, yeah.
good
Yep.
too.
Like, put everything in a pot
Yeah.
or pan.
Rice and whatever else is in the fridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rice.
Yeah.
Rice is solid.
I've had some weird meals that way.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of finding all the time, you were raising a family, working full time, and doing wedding floral work on the side.
Yes.
What kept you motivated through all those years?
Beer.
Yeah.
Racer 5.
I just kidding.
I lost my
Certified.
motivation 2 years ago. Yeah.
I feel like I just am always been a worker bee. I get bored. I am nearing like retirement age-ish. I'd like to sooner than later, but I don't know if I'll ever really retire, or like just because I just like to be busy and I'm always working. So I think what just kept me motivated is, making money. I like
That's
to
a
make
great
money.
answer. Yeah.
Well,
I do. No, I really just, I just am, it's what I know. And I think it is inherited from my father. My father is the same person. It's just we're worker people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any jobs as a kid that you did? Or did you have like a paper route or mowing lawns when you were young? And
Not
doing
so
that kind of
much.
stuff?
Not really. No, I think my first job was a busser in a restaurant in Hillsburg, and it was like, it was not easy job.
Throwing more anxiety on top of an anxious.
Yeah. But no, I didn't work as a kid, though. That would be genius to make some money as a kid.
It's pretty funny. Like the common theme that we've been seeing with local business owners is a lot of them had little things
little
as
hustles.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the first one that we've met that hasn't, but like Wyatt and Tom McGurk, like Tom McGurk had a paper route
Yeah.
and Wyatt mowed lawns.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan didn't have one.
No,
I
she was
can
busy
remember.
with sports like you.
Yeah.
But Tom also had a paper route for like 15 years.
Yeah, that was
I know. I think that was like such a thing when we were kids to have paper routes, because you don't really have that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my friends did that.
Yeah, well now Half Moon Bay Reviews only online, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of newspapers are
Yeah,
like
it's
not
crazy.
really.
tragic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
It's probably a lot
Look at
easier
you.
to be a paper boy now, though. Emailing.
Seriously.
Hopefully it comes back
Digital.
around one day and people realize it's nice to have that physical thing in front of you.
I know.
I think we'll come
Nostalgic.
around.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to wrap sandwiches in anymore.
Or like the mob, they used to wrap the salmon in newspaper, put it on your doorstep if you were the next one to get hit.
Oh my god.
Jeepers.
That's why they got rid of newspapers.
Oh, wow.
So, you've been doing weddings for a long time, and it was always kind of a side hustle thing.
Mhm.
Was there a certain point in time where you realized, like, you know what, screw everything else, I'm just going to focus on this?
Yeah.
And like, what brought you to that point?
I was working behind a desk as a sales rep, and I just I wanted to be more active. Like sitting at a desk all day is just like so boring. And I just thought, you know what? I can probably make more money hustling on the weekends and doing what I love, and not, I mean, I didn't want to be, pleasing these high maintenance, customers. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I kind of moved to some more high
High
maintenance.
maintenance.
But at least behind a
It's on
desk.
your own.
Right.
On my terms,
Yeah.
because it's like using my creativity to please them.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
such a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
And in your position, like, you can say no.
Yeah.
I
Whereas
can.
when you work for somebody, it's,
Yes, I
That'd be
can
just a
say no.
That would
I
be
can.
such a funny sign to have up in your shop as a florist is we reserve the right to refuse service to anybody.
Sometimes I tell you.
Funny.
Well, I think too, like I'd like to have a phone call at first with potential clients to see if we like have a good conversation. That's really important for me. And before I, have been times when I had like so much work, like right after COVID, like I couldn't talk to anybody on the phone because I had like so much coming my way. So I was just like, I cannot talk to you. You just have to like email me. Let's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but now it's like that I'm really getting older and I'm seeing like these interactions really need to be meaningful, and I need to let this fill my cup instead of drain my cup. I really want to talk to them and, see if we are going to be compatible, because, I need to like prove to them that I can do this job and, bring this beauty to life for them.
That's a really good
Do-
outlook.
do you think you had that kind of outlook before you started doing it full time?
No.
Okay. So that's something that came with.
No, I think as I've gotten older, I've just realized that, I want these jobs to be more meaningful, and,
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the early steps in the wedding planning process like for you? Like what's something that you guys have to get on the same page about pretty
Color.
much immediately? Colors.
Yeah.
Color
colors.
scheme.
Yes, I need color.
Yeah.
Give me your colors.
Is there a least favorite color to have to get along with?
No, I love them all. I think that every color combination is, I feel like there's some that I get more excited about,
Yeah.
but I don't dislike any. I feel like my favorite is fall.
Okay.
My fall colors are just everything to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you had to deal with like some crazy bride, or like maybe if two
Oh.
husbands are getting together, maybe one crazy husband or something?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely have
Is
had
that-
my fair share of drama.
Yeah. Was there a lot more in the early years when you were like not turning?
No, I
Okay.
feel like there's something all the time, and as much as I try to avoid it, like I think too that comes with just kind of getting jaded after a while too. Like you're like, oh, sometimes I try to think other people's thoughts, like, oh, they're thinking this, that I'm not doing this good enough or whatever. That's just, but no, I feel like sometimes people are just really hard to please, and sometimes you just have to like be like, this is what I have, this is what I'm giving you, and if it doesn't feel right, then you can find someone that can do this for you,
Yeah.
So
You got any good drama stories that you can
I'm
share
so
with us?
curious of this part. Like just a bridezilla.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I feel like there's I have to think about it because there's kind of like always a few.
You don't have to share also. We can move on.
I don't want to incriminate any of these people.
Let's start describing somebody, and if they listen to this, they'll be like, "Oh, that bitch."
I think big ones are there's one that does stand out, and I won't like say any names, but I feel like it's just people that really want to impress the people that are coming to the wedding instead of really focusing on what the day means.
That's totally.
So, that usually is where the slip ups happen with the drama and making sure everything is perfect when, most of the time you're not going to know if one flower's,
Yeah.
it's just sometimes people just like to try to control and micromanage and it really doesn't matter. It's like you just have to be like, the day's gonna happen, the day's going through, like,
Yeah.
and flowers are beautiful no matter what, and we're going to deliver on our agreement with you. So
It sounds like you rely on the client's vision just as much as they rely on your vision.
absolutely. Well, I need to know what they want me to execute, and of course it's going to be my take on it. I'm
The
good.
colors, right?
Yeah, I mean, they'll give me the colors and they're like, oh, I like this style or whatever, and it's going to be like what my creativity at the end will put together. It's like I definitely have a certain style, and it's representative. Like I try to, there's some things I just like I try to do, and I'm like, if someone shows me a photo, I'll be like, I can make that. I can't like, anytime. Like I can make anything people want, but it's like, but if I'm like given full autonomy on the creativity, it's like my style will shine through.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part about working with couples though?
Well, I feel like just being a part of their puzzle is, if they're really cool and everything, like it's a real feel good experience. Like I just had, this actually wasn't a couple, but it was a gentleman that asked me just this past weekend to do the flowers. Like he sought me out from my website because he liked my style and he thought that I would best represent his dad's celebration of life. And the process of it was just, it was so meaningful, and he was just so appreciative. And from the get-go, just the whole process was just such, I would just love all my experiences to be like that with my clients, just, them appreciating why, instead of like, I wanted this flower to look this way and I want it to be this, you get those too, you get all kinds of people, just like,
I'm sure there's some days you just get yelled at for a living.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do mostly weddings, or is there a lot of those kind of celebration of life?
Mostly weddings, but also I do some corporate stuff too. And those ones are a little bit easier as far as emotion is concerned, because, they're like, here's my budget. This is what I want it to look like. I'm going to be here at this time and pick it up at this time. And I'm like, sweet. So it's like they're all up front, and it's just like, it's easy. But sometimes those are in the city. That's not easy.
Yeah.
But brides, couples, there's a lot of emotion tied because, it's like people pleasing their families. There's so many emotions that go into that day. So it's like that one's just a little bit heavy, but sometimes it's most of the time it's great.
Yeah. Well, that anxiety about like constantly dealing with people on one of the biggest days of their lives.
Yeah.
Has to be pretty heavy.
Sometimes. Yeah.
But you've learned how to deal with it.
But I feel like flowers are always gorgeous, and they're always going to deliver. They're pretty no matter what, like obviously I have a skill to like put them together, but I mean, I wouldn't want to do their hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or their makeup.
Yeah.
That's intense.
That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Or their steaks.
Are you still doing a lot of prom work?
Yeah.
Nice.
Lots of prom.
Yeah.
Always got the
You
prom.
did all 2 years that I went to prom.
I did.
Yeah.
And I always loved
awesome.
Claire's choices. I always had something different.
I never knew when she was even going to talk.
You know what? She's always really crafty.
She's always
Had
like,
something
go pick
different
it.
for me every time.
Yeah, she's
Loved
like-
it.
She's like, go pick it up from Michelle. I'm like, oh, what'd you do?
She would always pick the coolest stuff. I'd be like, oh, appreciate this girl.
Oh, hell yeah. She's got great taste.
She does.
Is there ever like I mean, I'm sure it happens with like, they show you the photo and they go, I want
Yes,
exactly that.
absolutely.
How much do you not like that?
I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But, I do need to make money.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, it's still not going to look exactly like
You
it.
try to spin it a little bit in your own way.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, I could do it. I
Yeah.
could make it look exactly like it.
Yep.
Yeah. Just maybe he's out of spite. Go.
Do you work with mostly brides, or is there ever like the husband that kind of gets in there? And
Mostly brides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of what I feel.
Yeah. Husbands, if they get involved, you're like, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Let's kick it.
Like, buddy, this is your third marriage. Leave it alone.
Yeah. I've had a few husbands, and they were, not so fun.
No names. Yeah.
No.
So after so many years doing weddings and stuff, do you feel like there's one thing that helps you stay like creative and like keeping things fresh, whether
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, getting inspired by other florists?
Yeah, I
stuff like
do.
that?
So I follow lots of florists on social media. I'm always like, looking at things and just learning new things. Sometimes I like to freelance with other florists because you really you always learning techniques and things that can make your job easier. Like, just recently I learned about putting chicken wire over a bucket to separate the stems of flowers so they don't touch and, mold in the cooler, just like little hacks that are really important. But as far as creativity, yes, I do like to keep current and go to workshops, go let myself be the one that's learning instead of, just doing it and doing the same things and the same color or the same flower combinations, trying to use different flowers, try to keep current because, the trends always are changing.
Well, and that's also keeping you interested in what you do.
Yes. You don't like to just become stagnant.
Yeah.
Is there like a Michael Jordan of florists? Like someone that's like like the top of their game right now? Yeah.
Yes, there are a few that are like really well known, and they're in the San Francisco area, and they're influencers too.
Yeah, there we go.
But there's women that I really look up to that I'm always like looking at their stuff and checking out what they're making and like, oh, I kind of like that too. Like,
Yeah.
Like, will you sign my flower pot? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Oh, the workshops? Is it about the workshops?
No, this one's about canceled weddings during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Yeah, that was heavy,
Yeah.
but it was a blessing too, because I had all these weddings booked, but I had a really humongous corporate event up in the city, and it was like March 20th.
Oh, wow.
And then the world shut.
down.
I lost that job. It was like a high dollar job, and I have all of the containers still underneath my house for that job. But
You're like,
and
yeah.
I was able there were only a few that just completely canceled their weddings, but a lot of them moved to a couple of years, like a year or two later. So the ones that canceled, I didn't keep their deposits. I just didn't feel good about it. I mean, we were all losing. So it was just so weird. But I did get so much time with my kids and my family because, we had to be a pod. Such this unprecedented times. So weird.
Yeah.
But it was just great family time, like, just being with my kids. And like, we'd always have a project going around the house and, a lot of times, and that it was just great. So lots of puzzles and just
And
weird shit you wouldn't do if you were like working all the time, right?
Yeah. Well,
So it was really a gift.
that probably lasted for a couple of years, right? But at some point in time,
Yeah, I still
weddings-
started to get like micro weddings though
Yeah,
during
okay.
that time where people would like do it in their backyard and stuff like that, and I really appreciated those because there's like not any stress, it's just like
Yeah.
really it was great. And then 2022 happened.
And it just hit hard. Right?
Oh my gosh. I had 56 weddings that year. I had
God.
multiple weddings a weekend, and I was just taking everything that came my way. Even if I didn't know if I could do it, I would just take it. And I was like so burnt out. But that's the year I opened my shop too. So I was just like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm going to take everything, and made a lot of money that year. But it's like, it came at a cost, you know. I was really tired.
Well, and
so.
how intricate your designs are, and
Yeah.
put into it. I mean, how do you do it, and how much lead up time do you need? There was people that were like, we're getting married now. And
No, I can do it. I knew that proved to me that I could do it. Like, I was working constantly. So that year really was tough.
I mean, it's like a couple a week. 56.
It was 2 couples a week.
Yeah.
And it was every weekend. I didn't have a weekend off for a whole year.
Couple couples a week.
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But it's tapered off. Like 2023 was still a lot. 2024, half that. And this year is very bizarre. I don't have a ton of weddings this year. Yeah. I have probably about a total of 15. And I usually have about 30.
Yeah, not a lot of love in the air this year.
No, and I thought about it too. It was I feel like COVID, was 2020, and now this is 2025. It's like not a lot of people were really meeting up in 20.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
You're seeing like you're seeing like the back end.
Yes, it's the back end.
Trends,
it
right?
is. It is. But it's really okay because usually in the fall, like I have a ton of weddings, and I really don't this year, and I'm embracing it because it's. My son plays football out of state, and I love to make every one of his games. And it's just like when I can't make a game, I'm like heartbroken. So yeah.
And so something like one of those really busy years. I mean, what keeps you excited about what you do in terms of like, is it the look on the bride's face when she sees all the flowers?
I like that expression.
Or is it like just, I don't know, you getting to, getting into the zone the night before and like doing all the flowers? Like what's the most exciting part for you?
I do like seeing the bride's reaction.
Yeah.
It's really important to me. It's also a very nerve-wracking moment.
Yeah.
So, but that definitely is worth it. All worth it, I would say. Because there is this we call it show day, because where it's like game day, like you're like on the adrenaline starts pumping, and you're just like you're ready to go. You're just in the zone, and that's when the family comes up. Oh, this is so beautiful, or something. That's helpful too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. People would think that you're in the game, right? You're loading the flowers in van and taking it to the I don't know what you would call it, the place, the wedding,
the venue.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like you're there, your boots on the ground.
Yeah, you were running.
Yeah, that's it's not just making the arrangements. It's
putting
them all over.
Like this, just like this super strength that just takes over. You're like, I haven't eaten. Oh, well, I guess I didn't need to.
Yeah.
I better stop and eat.
Yeah.
You're living like copious cups of coffee.
How many people do you have on your team for these days?
I usually it depends on how big the wedding is, but up to 3 or 4.
Woo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of help.
It is. Yeah. Good team.
Yeah. Well, and you're not doing just like table arrangements too. You're building.
We're doing installations. We're doing, This weekend we have chandeliers, big arbor. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Okay. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A lot of work.
Yes.
So have most of those weddings that you have done been local, or have you had to like travel out of the area for?
Most of them are local. I will go out of town for loved ones.
Okay.
I have a very big wedding next weekend for a very special girl that I've known since she was born.
Is that already next weekend?
It's next weekend.
Holy
so
shit.
I'm very excited about that. Like that one will be emotionally like something that means a lot to me. So
How far out of town? Where's she getting married?
She's getting married in Petaluma.
Okay.
Yeah, but all 3 of my cousins, they live down in San Luis Obispo and area, and I did all their weddings. And my uncle has a huge area where I can work. And so that's like the furthest I've really gone. Awesome. Like, and I'll do that. But
that was probably fun too to go.
It was, it was my cousins, they're just like, they love everything I do. So it's really helpful. But I really do love to work in Carmel. There's a couple of venues there that I really love. But other than that, I don't go far. I'm either at Oceano or Mavericks.
Yeah. Nice.
Close to home.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not mistaken, on top of all this, you do workshops?
I do.
And you've had 25 years of experience. Is it?
I do love to watch people make stuff. And, it's like, I love to explain to them and show them how much I love to make an arrangement. So it's kind of fun to watch them do it. They always do it different. I thought at first, like, I would do, okay, everyone, now we're going to add this flower. And that I found was kind of like it took away from their creativity. So I would so now I'm at the point where I haven't had a workshop for a while. I need to, but I've just been really like busy. But when I do have them, what I like to do is like make the arrangement in the order that I like to do it. And then I give them free range to do it themselves, because no matter if I try to do it step by step, I feel like it kind of takes from their experience. And I really want them to like immerse themselves and like go home and be like, I can make this myself. Like I can go to Trader Joe's, not that you should buy flowers there, but you go and make it yourself.
They got some great frozen dinners though.
Oh, they do have some good things for sure.
Have you ever taken any like inspiration from something that somebody did at a workshop and been like, oh, I haven't thought of it that way?
That's funny. I have not. I should probably be more in touch with that. But...
fresh minds.
Yeah. I am sometimes I'm always very impressed with what the people, what they make, I'm like, and I'll just kind of be like, hey, if you need a job,
Where, how often and where were you doing the workshops?
At first I was trying to do them twice a month, but I realized they weren't very well attended. So I was trying to do them just maybe once a month. And then just wedding season hit, and I was just like, oh gosh, I can't really manage doing
That's what I was like, where do you find the time?
Yeah, I like to do them more in my slow season, like between January to March. But this year I had a surgery on my foot. So I was just like, I'm taking that time for me.
Yeah. Right. And how do you advertise for these? Where can people find?
They're usually on our website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Do you guys have an Instagram page?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
I'll find it.
Yes. It is flora.and.fauna.design.
Hell yeah.
How do you think I found out about the workshops?
You can find us there on Instagram.
You didn't look at the Instagram of the website yesterday?
No,
I think I found out about these workshops.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
Well, it must be rewarding getting to teach people though, right?
It is fun to watch them to do stuff. To make stuff, because a lot of people are intimidated by putting something together. So when they see me put together first, they're just like, oh, okay, I can see now. Why do you put this flower like this? It's like, it's just kind of, it helps them, because it takes that anxiety away for them. Because, it's like, there's no right way to do this. It's like, it's however you want to. That's the best part.
It's like the wine and paint nights, right?
Yes.
Yeah. A couple drinks and you're just like, all right, we can do this.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best.
Well, you've taught Zumba
Yes.
for 12 years.
I did.
So is that how you kind of find to be grounded with your crazy lifestyle right now?
Well, I stopped teaching Zumba in 2020 when I just didn't want to be in front of the Zoom. I really loved teaching Zumba because it was such a wonderful workout. 'Cause I love exercise. I'm a little addicted to exercise. But I really I've met a lot of great friends through Zumba. It's just such a great community, and lifelong friends from it. I do kind of miss the days of teaching, but I also don't miss being obligated to be somewhere at a certain time too, because I'm always obligated to so many things. But I did really enjoy doing that. It was really fun. It's a very effective workout. It's very simple for people to catch on, and that's why it's like successful. I think why people like it.
Do you find when you work out that it's a reset button for your brain outside of work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am a different person after a workout. Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about what Zumba is?
Zumba is a Latin-inspired aerobic dance.
Okay. So back to the dance.
Yeah, so it's dancing. It is they take combinations that are just repeated over and over. So like people can that do like to dance can really catch on quickly. And then by the time they're end, they've like an hour's gone by and they've had such a great time instead of like, oh, I had to work out.
Yeah.
You know, because like sometimes you go to like work out, you're just like, oh, this is so hard. But that is not how that exercise is. It's very fun and energetic, and the music is very magnetic.
Dancing's like going to a wedding, right?
I love dancing at a wedding.
How are you going to do the wedding coming up? Because you're going to be working but also enjoying. So
I know. I think I'll just get a couple cocktails after I'm done setting up.
There you go.
Yeah. That will take care of it all.
Get your shoulders moving.
Yes, that's right. Loosen things up.
Yeah.
And so with teaching Zumba for 12 years, and you were teaching that in town here.
Yes.
So that's something where you didn't grow up here. And I feel like that was probably an awesome way for you to like be part of the community.
Very much
and
so.
Like you said, get to know people.
Yeah, I was no longer just John Lowings' wife.
Yeah.
I was Michelle Lowings. Yeah. Oh, you know her. She's John Lowings' wife. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, it's me.
What year did John move here, too?
What's that?
John and Emma moved to Half Moon Bay when they were young and then moved away and came back, too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They did. Yeah. So they've lived here the majority of their life.
Yeah. Matt Hogan was just talking about how John was the first guy that he met.
Yeah.
When he came to town.
Yes.
And John.
Yeah, they've been lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You've expressed the interest in being a pioneer woman one day.
I know.
Living off the grid.
So I would say that I would like to do a half-assed version.
Okay. So solar panels.
I do like running water and heat, and I don't like to be completely uncomfortable, but I do love to like sew, and I love to make bread, and
there you go.
I would love to grow vegetables in my yard, and I would definitely love some chickens.
Yeah.
Yes.
We I've been working landscaping with my uncle Jimmy Cozzolino.
Yeah, I love Jimmy Cozzolino.
And I was walking around with Claire, and she had a really good idea for a landscaping design is a functional landscape design. So like you grow your own flowers.
Yes.
And then you can cut your flowers and utilize your flowers, or growing like something like flowers like artichokes. And being able to like it's a garden, but it also looks amazing.
Right,
in the front yard.
Artichokes are so beautiful when they're flowering.
One day if we get a client that wants something like that, maybe I'll work with you.
Okay.
Designing, that would be fun.
I would love to.
Claire's full of ideas.
Yeah, she is. She's very creative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that you still want to explore creatively? Because you've done a lot. Your whole life is based off of your creativity. So what's something that you still want to be able to try?
You know what? I want to quilt. I want to just do quilting. I want to sew and quilt and make things like that.
Yeah.
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 My aunt is the most amazing quilter, and I've always been so inspired by her. And, she doesn't have to work anymore. So with the day that I actually have more time, my next quilting job is to take all of my brother's Crown Royal bags and make a quilt for him.
Oh my God.
That's going to be sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have about 150 bags.
Wow.
Check his Crown Royal
big
drinking
Crown Royal
problem.
Check his story.
My aunt is also an incredible quilter.
Really?
I think you're going to say Crown Royale drink.
Maybe.
Clearly it's amazing stuff.
Yeah. But when I was probably like 11, 12 or something, but I was up at her house for the summer, and she had me do a quilt and enter it into the Trinity County Fair.
That is so
and
good.
I think I got first place.
Oh, no.
Got that blue ribbon.
They're all pieced together, and they take a lot of, it's like there's a lot of work that goes into those things.
Yeah.
Guess what it was called?
What was it called?
Love Made Visible.
I need to see a photo of this.
Yeah.
It's the most heartfelt episode we've done.
Yes. I love this.
Did you grow up doing like arts and crafts, hobby things?
Oh yeah, my mom was always like creative like that, and my aunt too, like they were always making stuff. My mom's got a beautiful yard, and it's like definitely was inspirational.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Kind of a side question here, but do you have like a dream? I know you said you mostly do local, but do you have like a dream destination wedding?
Yeah, I love Holman Ranch in Carmel Valley.
Okay. Have you gotten to do that one yet?
Twice.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome.
I love that place. It is just so beautiful, and it's I've tried so hard to get into their like venue, like their like vendor list, but I'm in Half Moon Bay. I mean, it's kind of like if I get there by chance, it's fantastic. But
you've done it twice, right?
I have twice. I'm like, hey, I'll probably get it again.
Yeah.
Are there any? I know there's like a lot of ranches south of town, like Pescadero and like stuff off of 84. Do you ever do some of those ones?
Not too much. I've I guess it's like that was more of a campground, the OVY campground. That one's kind of cool, but not too many. No.
How about like Swanton Creek?
I did. That's actually it's at the Laughing Cow one that burned down.
Oh, okay.
That was actually my favorite wedding that I ever did, and that was Jacqueline and
that's
Christian
my
Mars. Yes.
Yeah.
That was my favorite, most creative, beautiful, inspirational weddings I've ever did.
I was bummed I didn't get to go to that wedding because I had a football game.
Oh, well, the football takes really in priority a lot of times.
Are you there for most of the wedding? Like,
I am there for until they walk down the aisle, and then I actually through the ceremony. And if a lot of times I have to move stuff from the ceremony to the reception, and then I'm out. Okay. And then it depends on the venue if I have to come back that evening to break down, or if they're chill and I can come back the next day. Yeah. But there are a lot of times where you have like midnight strikes. So it's a long, long day.
Now, do you get to keep the flowers after a wedding, or do you?
I let couples take the flowers. A lot of time, it depends on the vessels that they're in. Like if I have priced the vessel into their arrangement, then I'm like, take it, and then I just come clean up what's left.
Yeah.
But if it's a vessel that I need to use again, then I'm like, do not take the vessel. I'll bring it back to my shop and like put it in a less of like something else for them to at least still take their flowers. I like to, for the flowers that are left over, I like to try to salvage as much as I possibly can and take it up to the little nursing home up in Montera or somewhere to like continue to live on and enjoy,
Yeah. I was going to ask if you ever like dried any of them.
I do dry them. Yeah, I do.
Do you do that like for the wedding party ever?
I am actually, my very first preservation is going to be for Grace. Next week, I'm preserving her bouquet for her. That way I'm pressing the flowers. So it's my first dry run.
Well, that's really cool.
You keep that forever.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of finishing out here, but what advice would you give to yourself like 10 years ago, 20 years ago? I don't know. Is there?
I think 20 years ago, I would say just to know your talent, be easy on yourself, and just stay true to what you're doing. I think 10 years ago, I would just be like, know your worth, and don't settle for, don't let people talk you down to lower pricing, any things like that. Just, know your worth and tits up.
Great answer.
Yes. Because it's really hard. Like when you are like, that is like, my work is so a part of me and my soul that, when people are asking me, why does this cost so much? Why are you, it's not just the flowers that I'm pricing. It's my time going to make the combinations. It's my time getting up at the crack of dawn, picking out the right stage of your flower. It's me putting the combinations together. It's executing them so they're not dead on arrival. You know, there's so many moving parts, and it's like when someone's like, but why is that so expensive? It's like, because it's my livelihood and I am doing a kick-ass job for you.
I'm a fucking expert.
I am a professional.
Well, you wouldn't buy like a canvas and paint from an artist, but you would buy a painting, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's like you're selling. I'm selling my experience for you. It's an experience. It's not like, you know, it's not just an arrangement. So I would just tell myself, my younger self, is just stay true, know your worth, and don't sweat the small stuff. I wish that I can still learn, like, practice what I preach out every day. But, you know, just be positive. Try to stay positive. It's not always negative.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy
Thank you guys. This was really fun.
Yeah.
I was really I really appreciate you guys asking me to be a part of this.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending your time with us.
Awesome guys.
Real quick before we go, do you want to tell the people where to find you, your address?
Yes,
business?
I am located in Harbor Village in the Oceano Mall, and it's 270 Capistrano Road, Suite 34.
Nice.
And I'm Flora and Fauna.
And it's a really good vibe inside the shop.
Yes, come visit me.
Yeah.
Flora.fauna.
Flora.and.fauna.design.
Ooh.
There we go. Give a like, give a follow on Instagram.
Yes, follow me.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the Between Shifts podcast. This is the recap. Here we go, dude.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Well, we just had Michelle Lowings on.
Yep.
She's such a sweet lady. So just like nice to be around.
Yeah.
Good energy.
Incredibly
As soon as
friendly.
She walk through the door and you can just feel the energy.
Yep.
She was like, I had never met her, but had you ever met her, David?
Nope.
No, that was the first time we both met her.
Yeah.
She was like our best friend. She's like, oh my God, it's so good. So good to see you. It's so nice.
Yeah.
What an incredible
And
person.
it's always tricky. Like, it's still weird for us to get behind a microphone and put headphones on and hear yourself. But she was a natural.
Yeah, she nailed it.
She nailed it. Yeah, she did way better than our first podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No
No, she
very clean episode too.
nailed it. And I
Swear
loved
words, yeah.
I loved hearing about the jobs she had before she just went out on her own, because it was all basically what she's doing now, just working for somebody. So it was cool to kind of hear the progression.
It's like she built
her
up
career.
all the skills necessary for her to do her own thing beforehand.
Yeah, and it seemed like she knew the whole time that she wanted to do her own thing one day.
But I did really like the fact that, you know, like we've had, you know, like restaurant, bar owners and like, you know, people that have started their own business, but I just feel like starting your own floral business is not, I don't know, in like the typical.
She's an artist.
realm.
Yeah, well, it's got to be super stressful. Like everything you do relies solely on your creativity.
Yeah.
And most of the time, like she said, the color scheme that the guests will give her.
Yeah, dude, it's just the bride. Like most of the time, you're dealing with one person, and it's like one of the most important days of her life, depending on how many times she gets married.
Yeah. No, seriously.
I also forgot to ask her what her favorite flower is.
I almost wanted to do a quick hit too,
Simple
like
one.
yeah.
I wore my flower shirt just for Michelle today.
We should start doing maybe some quick hits, like get people.
Yeah, I
like, hey, 30 seconds. What's your favorite flower?
Yeah, you guys, you know what? We'll clip this on Instagram. Comment below some quick hit questions that you guys think we should ask in the next episode, because that would be really fun, because it's hard to come up with creative questions when you're trying to do questions around somebody's life. So we would love to hear from you guys.
We need to spice it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us some fucking feedback, man.
Fun questions.
You know, I've got a ton of feedback. I walked through OPL. Shout out Brian Overfeld. He was wearing his Between Shift shirt, sitting there with his family, and I'm not even kidding. Probably 4 people said something about the show. So shout out Joe, Manny, all you people, Bella, Owen, Asher. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. No, every time we hear something about the show, we take it to heart and try to mold it around what the people want. So let us know what we can do better Constructive criticism makes everybody better.
And honestly, if you're not watching on YouTube, you get a really different vibe watching.
Yeah.
You guys seriously watching it on YouTube
See all
is way
the
better.
cans stacking up.
Yeah, for sure.
No, really, it's a different vibe. And of course, you guys, we always appreciate all the comments. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
We are sweating because it is hot up here.
Yeah, this was by far the hottest episode.
Yeah, we're gonna
not looking forward to summer.
I'm gonna have to come up here early in the day and
just
have
open the
windows.
windows, leave the door open.
Yeah.
Get a fan.
Yeah, we have a bunch of fans.
Oh, you should put one by the window, dude. Yeah, we were struggling today, dude. I thought when I got
we have like 500 fans.
no fans, just listeners, people that enjoy. It's like
Friends of the show.
We're not the art. We just give the artist a platform to describe themselves.
Thank you guys.
David's done. All right, goodbye.
We had a bunch of fun. Michelle was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, we're brought to you by Bikeworks HMB, your one-stop shop for bike service, sales, and rentals in Half Moon Bay, California. Whether you're on the mountain, road, or low on battery, Bikeworks HMB has your back. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support this podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at betweenshiftspod@gmail.com. The link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. GT signing off.